This college quarterback just took NIL to a whole new level. He secured nearly $10 million in a year, becoming the highest paid NIL athlete ever, and making more money this year than several NFL starters. But how did we get here? Where is all this money coming from, and what does it mean for the future of college sports? Welcome to FOS Explains. Today, we're breaking down the biggest NIL deals, how we got here, and what's next in the world of college athletics. Alright, let's rewind a bit. For decades, college athletes weren't allowed to make any money from anything related to their athletic career. That meant no jersey sales, no selling merch, no selling products, heck, no monetizing any YouTube or social media accounts they had. It was to the extent that YouTuber Destroying, aka Donald De La Haye, walked away from his football scholarship at UCF in 2015. He had started a YouTube channel that was getting popular, but wasn't allowed to make money off the channel as long as he was an NCAA athlete. These athletes were only allowed to be playing college sports for the love of the game and maybe a shot at the pros. And outside of their scholarships, they weren't supposed to see a dime. But let's be real, the schools were raking in millions of dollars from ticket sales, TV deals, and merch. Meanwhile, the athletes were getting nada, zero. This idea of amateurism was the rule for decades. The NCAA even had strict regulations in place. If an athlete even accepted something as small as a free meal from a fan or booster, they could face serious consequences. But things slowly began to shift, and the conversations blew up in 2009. That's when former UCLA basketball player Ed O'Bannon filed a lawsuit against the NCAA and EA. It was for using his likeness without permission or compensation in EA's video game NCAA Basketball 09. O'Bannon was working alongside a group of college athlete advocates like renowned sports marketer Sonny Vaccaro, the guy who helped Nike sign Michael Jordan. Vaccaro and attorney Michael Housefield enlisted O'Bannon to be the face of the lawsuit in hopes to legally force the NCAA to change its rules and let players be compensated for their NIL use in the game. The lawsuit became class action, and in 2015, the appeals court found the NCAA was indeed violating the law, but in a ruling, it stopped short of forcing the NCAA to allow NIL rights. So, EA had to stop making its college sports games because the court said it had to pay players, but the NCAA wouldn't let them. People began asking, why shouldn't athletes make money from their own name, image, or likeness? They're the ones scoring touchdowns, sinking threes, and bringing in fans, after all. The pressure was on, and after a few big legal battles and a lot of public support, the NCAA finally gave in. And then, boom, in July 2021, everything changed. College athletes were officially allowed to make money from their NIL, and just like that, the game changed forever. When the NIL rule dropped, it wasn't just a trickle, it was like they opened up the floodgates. Everyone was worried it would become the wild, wild west, and to an extent, it kind of has. Different states jumped on board at different times, and schools scrambled to figure out how to handle this new landscape. Suddenly, athletes weren't just focusing on their sports, they were building brands, signing deals, and cashing in. Athletes, schools, and even fans had mixed feelings. Some were excited. Finally, athletes could earn what they deserved. Others were worried it might mess with the spirit of college sports. But love it or hate it, NIL was here to stay. When the rules changed, some athletes had already built big social media followings and knew exactly how to market themselves. Think Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. These platforms became their personal stage, allowing them to showcase not just their athletic skills, but also their unique personalities and lifestyles. Take Hersey Miller, for example. He's the son of rapper Master P, and he secured a $2 million deal right out of the gate. Then there's Livy Dunn, a gymnast at LSU who became one of the top NIL earners almost overnight thanks to her massive social media presence. With millions of followers across platforms, Dunn became a prime candidate for lucrative brand deals. The more followers an athlete has, the more attractive they are to brands. Why? Because their socials give brands a direct line to fans, something traditional advertising doesn't always achieve. Fans love behind-the-scenes glimpses into their favorite athletes' lives, from workout routines to personal milestones. Brands love engagement and the authenticity that come with these insights. And the athletes, they're finally able to cash in on their hard work and influence. Now, imagine you're a college athlete with 100,000 followers on Instagram. You're not just posting game highlights, you're sharing snippets of your daily life, your training sessions, your meals, your downtime. You're building a personal brand. And brands see this and think, hey, this person can promote our product. So they start signing deals, whether it's for sports drinks, sneakers, apparel, or even video games. And one guy is now profiting more than anyone yet. Less than 5 years into the world of NIL, we have our first $10 million college athlete, Carson Beck. Beck was a 2-year starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs and was seen as one of the top QBs in the country. Despite a season-ending elbow injury, he was seen as a top 5 QB prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft. Then came the surprising news. Beck decided not to enter the NFL Draft, instead entering the transfer portal and committing to the University of Miami. But what followed was even more shocking. A partner at the firm that represents Beck told Front Office Sports that Beck had secured nearly $10 million in NIL deals over the past year, a combination of his earnings from brand partnerships and Miami's NIL collective Canes Connection, essentially setting a new standard in the world of college sports. Beck's NIL marketability hasn't just been tied to his on-field performance either. He has a big online presence. The 23-year-old quarterback has over 125,000 Instagram followers and is dating fellow Miami athlete and social media influencer Hannah Cavender, who also earns millions in NIL dollars. His ability to connect with fans and build a personal brand outside of football has made him an attractive figure for some major companies. He has partnerships with Beats, Powerade, Chipotle, and Airstar Charter. Canes Connection, Miami's NIL collective, has played a crucial role in facilitating these deals. Collectives like this are essentially groups formed by donors and boosters who pool resources to help athletes secure NIL opportunities. $10 million is roughly the same amount of money as the average annual value of the 2024 number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams will make over his entire rookie contract. And since Beck was projected to be a late first or even second round pick, that means he's making more money in a year of college football than he would have by declaring for the draft. This proves that college athletes can now fully capitalize on their brand while still in school. For future athletes, this raises important questions and concerns about the role of NIL in college sports. We've already seen recruits prioritize schools with strong NIL collectives and collectives offering millions to entice top players to transfer. Beck's story suggests that these are becoming increasingly important in the world of college sports. In Beck's case, the support from Canes Connection was instrumental in his decision to transfer to Miami and in the success of his NIL ventures. Corporate sponsorships also play a huge role. Brands are constantly on the lookout for athletes who can represent their products and connect with consumers. When partnering with athletes, companies will consider several factors, including the athlete's performance, their personality, and social media presence. Beck's partnerships with high-profile brands illustrate how athletes with a strong personal brand can attract significant corporate interest. These deals don't just provide financial benefits to the athletes, but also help the brands reach new audiences through authentic, relatable endorsements. Another important source of NIL funding is private donors and alumni. Wealthy alumni and supporters who want to see their alma mater succeed are often willing to invest in the school's athletic programs. Their contributions can help attract top talent by offering financial incentives that enhance the overall appeal of the school. But this influx of money raises ethical questions about the potential for conflicts of interest and the balance between athletic success and academic integrity. Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter has been arguably the biggest name in college football the past few years, so it wasn't a surprise that Hunter declared for the 2025 NFL Draft. But on his podcast, The Travis Hunter Show, even Hunter seemed shocked by just how much Carson Beck was making in college through NIL.
How do you get $10 million? Where's my $10 million? Bro, let me go back to college. I'm going back to college, bro. Let me see if I can get me $100 million.
In the grand scheme of things, Hunter's perspective, combined with the significant deals being made, suggests that college athletics are in the midst of a transformation. The lines between amateurism and professionalism are blurring, and the choices athletes make will continue to evolve as the NIL landscape matures. But for now, one thing is clear. NIL has forever changed the game, and athletes like Carson Beck are at the forefront of this new era. But he's not the only one. Darian Mensah's move to Duke has been one of the most talked about transfers in recent memory. Reportedly, he secured an $8 million deal over 2 years, making him one of the highest paid players in college football. For Duke, this isn't just about adding talent to the roster this season, it's also a strategic move that could elevate their recruiting game. John Mateer's transfer to Oklahoma came with reported deals comparable to Mensa's, emphasizing the growing trend of schools using NIL deals to lure elite talent. But one of the most eye-popping deals in recent history is Bryce Underwood's. The nation's #1 overall high school recruit reportedly received $12 million to commit to Michigan, a deal significantly influenced by Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison. This 4-year agreement is a record breaker, and it speaks volumes about how far schools are willing to go to secure top high school talent. On the other hand, Quinn Ewers faced a different kind of decision. Like Carson Beck, the Texas QB is an NFL prospect, but he was offered $6 million to enter the transfer portal. Declaring for the draft used to be a no-brainer for the top college QBs, especially looking to make money. But for someone who isn't a first-round lock, then taking the NIL money and a shot to improve your draft stock has become a seriously viable option. Just look at how it worked out for Miami's Cam Ward. But Ewers staying in the draft is a reminder that while NIL has transformed college sports, the dream of a pro career is more important to some athletes than just 1 year of NIL money. Just a few years in, and NIL has already caused plenty of legal trouble for the NCAA. In 2024, Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia sued the NCAA for more CFB eligibility to continue cashing in on NIL. Pavia played 2 years of JUCO football. Previously, those years counted towards your eligibility. But Pavia argued that NIL made that illegal. He argued the NCAA's rules counting years playing in junior college against Division I eligibility violated antitrust law because they prohibited him from maximizing NIL earnings. In his suit, Pavia speculated he could earn up to $1 million if the NCAA didn't block him from playing in 2025 at Vanderbilt. And in December, a federal judge granted an injunction giving Vanderbilt's Diego Pavia the extra year of eligibility he sought. His lawyer then told the Associated Press that he'd gladly return to Vanderbilt, quote, so long as he receives an appropriate NIL package. But the most controversial NIL story of the year was UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka. Sluka started the season on a tear for UNLV, leading the team to a 3-0 record, 318 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 253 yards on the ground. Then he made the unprecedented decision to redshirt for the rest of the season due to unmet NIL commitments. Sluka's agent told ESPN that a UNLV assistant verbally promised Sluka $100,000, but when he actually arrived in Las Vegas, the school and collective offered him $3,000 a month for the football season, and that they had only paid a $3,000 relocation bonus. So, Sluka sat out the rest of the year and ultimately transferred to James Madison. Sluka's situation sparked negative conversations about NIL and highlighted the potential for athletes to leverage financial negotiations mid-season. But what do you think about the impact of NIL deals on college sports? Are they leveling the playing field or just creating new challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more on the business of sports.